Researchers from the University of Adelaide have recently found a way to explain how peppermint activates an anti-pain channel in the colon to soothe inflammatory pain and discomfort associated with irritable bowel syndrome. This is the first clinical evidence to demonstrate why peppermint is so effective in relieving symptoms of IBS, even though it has been prescribed by naturopaths for many years. According to a team of researchers led by Dr. Stuart Brierley, peppermint acts through a specific anti-pain channel called terpem-8 to reduce pain-sensing fibers, especially those activated by rich or spicy foods. Using these findings, scientists may be able to develop a new type of mainstream clinical treatment for IBS. IBS is estimated to affect about 20% of the population, most of whom are women, and is debilitating enough to cost millions of dollars a year in lost productivity, absenteeism, and health care.
Oh, my stomach, it hurts so much. I keep going to the bathroom. I'm either constipated or it comes out like water. The amount of gas is embarrassing. Wrong with me?
You have irritable bowel syndrome.
Have you seen a doctor for it yet? Who are you? Where did you guys come from?
That doesn't matter. What matters is you get help.
Let us teach you about irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay. When you go potty, do you have some bloating, cramping and farting, and nothing's quite floating? Frequent diarrhea that burns and it stings. These are a few of those IBS things. If you've had infection or a bowel type resection, stress, antibiotics, or caffeine ingestion, liquor will get to you just as quick to know. These are a few things that you shouldn't do. Exercise and bulk meds will make you a winner. No fluid with breakfast, with lunch, or with dinner. Do not forget to drink lots in between. Reducing the bloating will make you feel lean. When you're angry, stressed and fed up, when you're feeling sad, you simply remember these IBS things, and then you won't feel so bad.
A little background information on irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome is a chronic condition that affects the lower gastrointestinal tract. It affects nearly 15% of adults in the U.S. IBS is characterized by abdominal pain, discomfort, frequent bowel movements, and discolored defecation. IBS can also be caused by many factors, including a neurotransmitter imbalance, infection, different foods or liquids, visceral hypersensitivity, psychosocial factors, and an altered bowel motility. There are three categories of IBS. The first one is pain associated with diarrhea. The second one is pain associated with constipation. And the third one is pain and diarrhea with alternating constipation. The biopsychosocial model of IBS exhibits how psychosocial, motility, sensory, and CNS abnormalities are the causes of abdominal pain. Physiology of the sensation in the gut is multifaceted in that enteroendocrine cells transmit mechanical and chemical messages. The communication between the abdomen and the brain have responses categorized into three levels: prevertebral ganglia, spinal cord, and the brainstem. Mechanisms involved in visceral hypersensitivity are limbic system modulation, end organ sensitivity, and dorsal horn neurons, which processes pain through spinal afferents. Stress, life crisis, foods, and even time during menses can also cause onset of symptoms of IBS. Patients are typically between the ages of 20 to 50. Although IBS isn't life-threatening, it can be a nuisance and a very uncomfortable condition. Some symptoms unrelated to the intestine are common in patients with IBS. These may include headaches, sleep disturbances, post-traumatic stress disorder, temporomandibular joint disorder, Sika syndrome, back, pelvic pain, myalgias, back pain, and chronic pelvic pain. Fibromyalgia and interstitial cystitis are also frequently encountered in patients with IBS. In fact, fibromyalgia occurs in up to 33% of patients with IBS, and almost half of patients with fibromyalgia also have IBS.
Not an understatement, because IBS affects about 55 million people, mostly females, and that's why April is Irritable Bowel Syndrome Awareness Month.
Right. I have so many women in our practice who suffer from this, and it can cause bloating. It can really affect a person's lifestyle because it causes bloating, diarrhea where you're running to the bathroom, you can't, work, constipation, mucus in your stool. It can really be, a devastating situation for a woman.
Yeah, because both of those symptoms, you mentioned the diarrhea versus constipation. Well, what happens when diarrhea? The fluids basically go in and they come right out. Everyone knows that, right?
You got to run to the bathroom.
And that's no fun.
No.
But when you get constipated, literally, think of it as a plug. This is my made-up plug here.
Can't believe you're constipating yourself there.
There you go.
So everything you eat gets stopped up, and then everyone's got that bloated feeling.
Ooh, I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's, oh.
I'd almost prefer to have the diarrhea than the bloating.
Pictured here is the TRPM8 protein, the subject of an article published in July of 2010 titled "A Novel Role for TRPM8 in Visceral Afferent Function" from the Nerve Gut Laboratory of the Royal Adelaide Hospital. The work of this research team showed the mechanism by which menthol, an ingredient in peppermint, can be used to reduce the symptoms of bowel hypersensitivity as experienced with IBS. Their work focused on identifying the location of transient receptor potential ion channel melastatin subtype 8, or TRPM8, and whether activation of this channel did reduce bowel hypersensitivity. The team used isolin, a synthetic superagonist or activator of TRPM8, rather than menthol. Though structurally different, it is 2.5 times more effective and 200 times more potent than methanol. Transient receptor potential vanilloid 1, or TRPV1, is the protein responsible for what we feel when eating hot peppers. It's activated by the ingredient capsaicin, which is in these hot peppers. Transient receptor potential acrin 1 is activated by mustard oil and is responsible for mechanical hypersensitivity in the colon after being activated. The research team showed anatomical and molecular evidence for the expression of TRPM8 in colonic neurons. They also saw excitation of the nerve endings by isolin. The chemosensory response to capsaicin was reduced when pre-treated by isolin, and the mechanically hypersensitivity induced by TRPA1 was also dampened when pre-treated by isolin. This mechanism suggests that TRPM8 agonists like isolin or menthol can reduce abdominal pain.
Well, they got a new dance and it goes like this. Yeah, the name of the dance is the Peppermint Twist. Well, you like it like this, the Peppermint Twist. Yeah, right.